From the wild north in bonny Scotland to the busy streets and parks of inner city London, this is Gundogs and Guard Dogs, the ultimate podcast dedicated to talking sense about dogs with Les Graham and Ross McCarthy. And both are passionate about dogs, people, education and exploring the fascinating world of the dog. But one specialises in gun dogs and the other prefers guard dogs. And yes, just like their dogs, they are as different as chalk and cheese. They bring you valuable insights and honest conversations about the social predator you share your home with. So here we go. About 45 minutes of gun dogs, guard dogs, good dogs, some maybe not so good dogs, and a dash of gossip.
Mr. McCarthy,
Good day.
how you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. Yes, I've just just put a little hoodie on because it's a bit nippy outside today.
Jason was sitting here well, I don't know why I'm hugging my cup because I can't actually feel it. It's a thermal one, so you can't get any
Is it? No, I know, it's ridiculous.
You are.
Yeah, hugging my cup, sitting here like got the heating on and stuff. I shouldn't really be cold. And when we finish chatting, I've got to go and take the dogs for a walk again. So not looking forward to that very much.
No, I'll be putting. I'm not bad actually. I've got a waistcoat on, but this is nice and warm in my. I've got a thermal on.
Yeah, I should probably overheat in a minute.
Always the way. Actually, I got some of these for Christmas, which I absolutely love. I'm going to put them on. So I got that from a friend, which is it's a cashmere neck warmer. Oh my God, it's wonderful.
Is it not a snood?
Yes, kind of.
Is it? Yeah.
And
Snood.
wrist warmers.
Oh, nice. Wrist warmers.
They're really good for when I'm typing.
Oh, you get cold.
Early mornings. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, 5 o'clock in the morning when you're up writing your book?
Yes.
When,
Finished.
I was going to say, when can we expect delivery of said book?
The Well-Mannered Dog. It's called The Well-Mannered Dog. Images are done. So images are done. Sorry?
You remember that film, that program Fame, where they had their leg warmers and stuff?
Yes. I'm going to live forever.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
I'm going to learn how to fly.
Yeah, sorry. Tell me about your well-mannered dog.
Yeah, so that's what it's about. It's kind of the adult version of Manners Not Mayhem. So it's about well-mannered dog, because owning a dog should be a joy, and that's what it's about. There's training in there. There's my top things that I think every dog should be trained to do. That's in there, but it's more about living with the dog. You know, there's so many books out there on sit, stand, down, come, walk with no lead, but this one takes it to the next level. It's how to live with a social predator.
Mm-hmm.
And end up with a very well-mannered dog that you can take anywhere, but also getting inside your dog's head, learning about things like, you've read it. I forgot. I write it and then put it to one side.
Yes, well, I've been very privileged to get an advanced copy, haven't I? So I have read it. No, it's really cool. It's like, it doesn't just it goes into like equipment use and neutering, the loss of dogs, all sorts, doesn't it? I mean, it's literally, it's incredibly good book.
Thank you. So finishing the images, finish the typesetting soon. I just need to get that last bit double checked. I've got to get a copy. I'm at the point where I'm now looking for a hard copy printed like a book. So I've done the typesetting, done all of the proofing, got the images, and then what I do then, I haven't got one to hand, but I'll actually print a copy off, which is the next stage, from Amazon, and make sure that Amazon printing it correctly, because sometimes they don't print it the way it's supposed to be printed, and then we'll put a date on it. But it will be out before Crufts.
Oh, good. So we can expect to see a few copies dotted around at Crufts then.
I hope so. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, hopefully, because that's not too long away, is it?
No, I know. So The Gundog Day is on the Friday. I can't remember the dates actually.
I think it's the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, is it? It's
Yeah,
around that.
it's
Um,
around that. I'm trying to work out the dates. I've got the diary right in front of me. That was a bit daft, isn't it? Yeah, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th is Crufts, and
that's cool.
Gundog Day is on the 8th. So I'm
Yeah.
coming down. It still seems odd saying I'm coming down to Crufts rather than I'm going up the Crufts.
Yeah, yeah. How
So
far is it? 3 hours, 4 hours? More?
I think maybe it's a bit more.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
well, let's hope the weather's nice. Last year we had snow.
yeah.
We had snow going up,
I,
driving up, we had snow, and then on one of the mornings, because we stay on site at the NEC and walk down to the building, the National Exhibition Centre. And yeah, it was really dicey walking down in the snow. Poor people with their dogs and that,
wow.
pushing their crate, they have cages on wheels and stuff, don't they? And yeah, it was all very
Yeah.
dicey.
Yeah, 4.5 hours that would take to get down.
Oof.
We'll come down the night before, and then I'll be there for Gundog Day. And then the next day I want to go and watch the Obedience as well.
Yeah, we'll get ready for your competitive season.
I don't think I'll be Crufts ready. I think that's another like 4 year.
Yeah. Oh
It
God.
takes such a long time.
No, it's good to watch though, isn't it? And aspire to.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see Dee as well. I'm hoping Dee's going to be there.
Oh, cool.
Dee Stedman, which would be lovely. I haven't seen her for like 5 years.
The thing that I like, one of the things I like the most about crafts is that you see all these people that you've kind of forget about every year. Do you know what I mean? You don't speak to them, you don't see them,
Mhm.
and then you see them at the show. And yeah, it's really lovely to catch up with everybody, isn't it? It's really
Mhm.
cool. Really
It's a
nice
really good
event.
place to network. See
It-
what the latest offerings are in relation to training and equipment.
I think it's a shame. Well, I'll say it's a shame. I mean, years ago, Crufts used to be the place to go to buy stuff.
Uh-huh.
But now, because the internet, it's not quite so exciting. 'Cause you could go and you get your proper dog stuff, but now you can kind of order it online, can't you? So I think
Uh-huh.
that a lot of the trade stands and stuff have changed. A lot of people don't go. Um,
Really?
yeah, there's a lot of other stuff as well, like handbags and stuff. And you think, well, why would you go to a dog show to sell or buy a handbag? But there's some strange stands there.
It's getting like that with the game fairs as well. I hadn't put two and two together actually, but yeah, it's the game fairs are like that now as well.
Well, all sorts of
Because there's
miscellaneous
all
things.
yeah, because there's all sorts of you just log on and go, I need a new training dummy. You just log on. There's 92 shops selling dummies.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's not. Yeah, it used to be like a specialist kind of event, but I don't think people know it's blah blah blah. It's an expensive show to go to, and we think. I mean, every year we have a conversation. Do we need to go? We've got
Uh-huh.
the internet. People go online. Whatever. Do we need to spend that amount of money being there for 4 days? And like I said, the networking opportunities are fantastic. I love seeing everybody, but we don't know whether it's you
Cost
know
effective.
no, or whether we need to be there. If you're looking for a course, go online, don't you? Not necessarily visit crafts.
And yeah, I mean it is difficult because they used to do the education zone at Crufts, didn't they? They don't do that now, do they? That
No,
hasn't
that wasn't there. The career zone, wasn't it? That wasn't.
career
No,
zone.
I don't think that was their last couple of years. Which is a shame because that was good, wasn't it?
It was. We did two talks there, 2 years in
Yeah,
a
I was
row.
going to say, especially when we were there, it's good.
I know. Sold out.
We had to do two, didn't we?
That was
8
hysterical.
o'clock in the morning or
We
something. That was.
Yeah, because we were booked. I think the first one we were either midday or 11, weren't we?
Yeah, and then we had to squeeze another one
And then
in.
they said we need you to do another one because we can't get anybody else in the room. Can you do 8 o'clock? And we were like, oh my God, okay. So we were first on, and there were
Mm,
still people sitting in the aisles. And
mm.
then on the second one, we were told to turn the music down, weren't we? You
Oh,
do
you
that,
told me that. I forgot that. I don't.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the second one, they were trying to do the judging or something, and we started the talk
Um,
with the Baha men like full pelt. And the ring behind us couldn't hear what was going on, so they came and says, "Can you shut the music down?"
Oh dear.
That's funny.
No, that was a good event. There was lots of interesting talks, wasn't there? Because that was for the KCAI scheme, wasn't it? Which is why they probably stopped doing it.
Yeah,
You could
what's
get in
happened to the
free.
KCI scheme?
Is it still around? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the Kennel Club fell out over that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, well, least said the better, isn't it?
Indeed.
Yeah. No, but I'm looking forward to Crufts. Crufts for me, it's always because we've, as we always moan about January and February, Crufts is always like beginning of March. It's kind of like real sort of the start of the year. That, do you know what I mean? It's gonna, spring is not far away, and it's all just, getting a little bit lighter and a little bit more pleasant. Do you know what I mean? It's that. Yeah, I look forward to that.
Yeah. Yeah, you've always been affected by the winter though, haven't you? You hate this dark night thing, whereas I quite like it.
I don't mind it occasionally. I don't mind it if I'm in and settled and whatever. I don't mind it so much, and you get used. It gets easier as time goes on. Do you know what I mean? Throughout the months, but no, I don't like you go to your training classes and stuff in an evening. Once I'm home, I don't want to go out again unless it involves food. I don't mind going out for dinner, but I don't want to go. I don't want to get in my car in the cold and go to a training class or anywhere else. Really, do you know what I mean? It's not.
It's the one that I find difficult now and again is on a Monday. I train with a group of girls on a Monday, like outside of class. There's just like a group of us. Sandra's amazing. Sandra Gordon is a trainer, and she helps us all with the dogs. But it's 45 minutes there for me and 45 minutes home, which is right. If I'm tired, there's a risk of me like falling asleep.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
And sometimes I look out the window and I think, God, I hope it's raining in Hamilton. And then I don't have to go, but she, she's amazing. She gives up her Monday afternoons and we go through, and this weather, how it's been, I've got like fleecy woolen tights on underneath my fleece lined waterproofs, and I have like my thermal, polo neck, thermal, and then I'll have my 2 jackets on for training, and so I'll have like my little haglots, and then I'll have my rab, and they're the training ones, because they're short enough to do training in.
Yeah.
And then as soon as my session's over, and I have my hat on, my gloves on, as soon as my session's over, my big gloves are on, my big parka's on, and we sit and look. And
you've got to be committed, haven't you, to do that?
You've got to be committed, and I'm really committed. I really want him. He's not been the easiest dog to train, Ross.
No.
I mean, even for me, he's not been the easiest dog to train, and I have to do it. I have to give his brain something. Take him out on dummies, he's amazing. Take him out on like birds, he's amazing. Cold game. 2 minutes later, give me something else to do.
Yeah, they're difficult, isn't it? I mean, I was going to show my dogs, and I've got a friend that does ringcraft classes about an hour away, and it's 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night. And I don't always say, but I often say, "Oh, can I come this week?" And I never ever go. I've never been. I'm not going out at 7 o'clock when it's been dark for hours. I just think, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not driving for an hour. I'm just not doing.
Wednesdays are tricky because I normally have meetings. The Pet Gundog Club meetings are 6 or 7 on a Wednesday. And then I've literally got to shut Zoom down, get in the car and drive for 20 minutes to get through to Wishaw for the training class at 7:30. And that's hard, but it's such a lovely class. It's a very different type of class to what I do on a Thursday night. But then the Thursday night class doesn't start until 8:15 at night.
See, that's just too much for me.
That is hard going for me at times.
What time do you get home? 10?
Yeah, about 10:15. Friday mornings are a write-off.
I'd like to do that. I'm sure once you're out and in the car, it's all right, isn't it? But I just look out the window and I think sit at home with a glass of wine and a TV, or do that.
I don't look out the window. I just get my bag together and walk out.
Do you?
I did. Oh, if I looked out the window and saw the weather, I'd be like, "Ooh."
No, not tonight, love.
No,
No.
I literally just get out and go. I can't not.
No. Well, it'll soon, but it won't be long now, will it? Until Crufts, and then it'll be
Until Crufts.
lighter
So I
night.
haven't been to Crufts for a few years. I think the last time I went to Crufts, actually, I was being presented my advanced working gun dog instructor.
Was that the last time you came?
AI scheme.
That was the last time. Was that when you were with Mish and stuff, and Jodie Marsh were on the stand and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that no, it wasn't. It wasn't. That was the year after. So that was the last time when I was on the Natural Instinct stand doing book signing.
Okay.
That was the last time I was there, I think. And then the time before, I was given my Kennel Club Advanced Instructor Award.
Was that not the same year that you got your working dog lanyard and all that presentation?
No, because I was on crutches when I got my working gun dog. When I got my gun, oh God, when I got the working gun dog certificate, I wasn't on crutches. I was ill. I was ill that year, if you remember. Kenny had to come and get me because I was.
Oh, I do.
I was really ill in the ring, wasn't I?
Didn't you come up with me? You came with me, didn't you?
I stayed at yours. We went up, and
That's
then
it.
I was ill.
Yes, I remember that. And Kenny had to come get me. Your car was at my house.
You had to put me to bed.
Yeah, and your car was at my house, wasn't it?
Car was your house.
I got you. I'm blinded.
I know. I can remember you putting me to bed because I was so ill, and Kenny come and got me.
I remember him coming up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were we? At the Grimstock?
Yeah.
Blimey.
Because he couldn't find me, could he? Because he kept driving past.
Oh, I don't remember. The Grimstock's not there anymore. It's been knocked down for HS2.
Wow.
Mm.
Well, we haven't booked a hotel yet. You'll have to let me know where you're staying and all that lot. Might not stay with you, but
it's what?
We might not stay there, but let me know if the Grimstock's gone, because we'll have to find somewhere for me and Kenny to stay for a couple of nights.
That cheap place round the corner, the TriStar. Do you remember that?
Vaguely. Which was the one that did the really nice soup. Back on food.
It might, I don't know. I mean, the TriStar, they just normally do chips with everything.
Okay, no, I think it was the Grimstock, because I think I had the soup and then had to go to bed because I couldn't.
Yeah. The Grimstock food was really lovely. The hotel was really old-fashioned and stuff when you go in, but the food was lovely.
Yeah. Oh, you'll have to tell me. But that was the last time. So the last time I was on the CIDBT stand was when I was ill. And then the year after, and that was the year I got my working gun dog certificate award. And then the year after, I got my KCI Advanced Instructor Award. And then the year after that, I did a book signing on Natural Instinct. And that was the last time I've been.
Oh, cool. That's only a couple of years ago. Well, mind you, we didn't have it. We had 2020 was the last. We didn't have Crufts in 21, did we?
No. So it was 29. I was in Scotland. It was the year we moved to Scotland. So that would have been. Oh, God, I can't remember. I think I came down once from Scotland and I was on crutches.
Yeah, you did. I remember you being on a crutch. I don't know about two.
Single crutch. And that was when I got my KCI award. And I was in Scotland then, so that would have been 2019.
2019, yeah, and then 2020 was the last one. That was that.
Yeah, so that's right. Then 2020 was the last one. So 2019 was the last time I was at Crufts.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I was there in 2020 when we were all washing our hands and thumbs.
God.
That was mad, wasn't it? That was absolutely mad.
And so 2020 was missed.
21 was missed.
21 was missed, sorry.
22, we'd only just, I think, we'd only really just started to go back out because that was weird being around all those people. Some people were still wearing masks and stuff, but being around all those people and stuff, that was kind of weird.
Very. And then last year was normal.
Last year was normal. That was all good. Yeah. Yeah, and hopefully this year will be normal.
Oh, there's still COVID around. There's still quite a bit of COVID around.
Yeah, I had it before Christmas, didn't I?
Yeah. You okay now?
Yeah, lasted a long time though. I mean, I felt quite rough.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, over a week, and they still had sniffly nose and everything else for quite a while.
Mm.
But it's really, there's a lot of people around here have got it.
Yeah, there's a few of the students got it as well.
Mm,
Not good.
yeah. No, well, hopefully the symptoms are milder, aren't they? Well, obviously than they were initially.
Yeah. Yeah, I had it in November. But when I had it the first time round, I was on my back for like 5 days. Could hardly get out of bed.
That was awful. My mum and her husband had it probably in 2022, I should think.
Uh-huh.
And they were really, really bad with it.
Yeah, that's when I had it.
Yeah, it's
Awful.
not nice at all, is it?
So has Crufts got many education providers by now? Because like when we did the education zone, we did a couple of talks there, and it was full of education providers. There was like lots of new education providers came into being because of the KCI program.
Yeah.
They created this gap in the market, and so
Well,
I think the KCI scheme, when they relaunched it, they said these are all the things that you have to do to get your KCI award, and a lot of
they
people
had the Professional Education Provider Scheme, didn't they? Of which we were one of those.
and people were like, "Oh, I can teach that. I'm going to teach people how to do it," but they didn't necessarily have the depth of knowledge to be on the word, and they didn't know how to train other people, and there was a lot of cognitive bias there as well. You know, I believe this, so therefore I'm gonna.
Yeah.
There was a lot of echo chambers came out of it, wasn't there?
Yeah, there is. I mean, are there a lot of course providers? Not really. There's a lot of last time we spoke, we were talking about scent work, weren't we? And things. There are some of the, scent qualification providers and things there, like Sniffer Dogs UK and whatever. But no, as far as sort of practical sort of education, I don't think there's a lot of course providers with a presence there.
Okay, that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
because there was always the British Institute were always there, weren't they? And the blazers.
They're still there. They've had
their blazers with the gold buttons.
Yeah, they've got a new stand design.
Are they still wearing the dark blue blazers and gold buttons?
I think.
Breasted.
Yeah, they do. They do. It's a shame, really, because they're still there. Still there. I'm a member, and I get a magazine come through every so often. I don't know why they bother, to be fair, but they do. But yeah, they're still there. I think the APDT are not there any longer. They used to, remember, they were there, weren't they, near the guild?
Oh, yeah.
They're not, I don't think. No, there's not. But to be honest, there's not really a lot of decent education around, is there really? There's lots of course providers, lots of courses. But I mean, a lot of the students that we have, they've done numerous other courses, and they would never, ever equip you to go into someone's home and help them.
No.
And we deliver, as you know, we deliver a qualification at level 6, which is no longer relevant. And that was written, I think, by Animal Jobs Direct. I'm not sure it was them, but I think it was. And that qualification, if you did that qualification alone, you would be none the wiser, no more equipped to go and do the job than you were before you started. You'd know a bit more about dogs. You'd know about assistance dogs, which is irrelevant. But you wouldn't be equipped to do anything.
Because I looked at that, and there's supposed to be a practical element to it. And Animal Jobs Direct don't teach the practical element. They just do an online, like a webinar.
Yeah, okay. Because I think it's something.
But it's gone now, hasn't it? That qualifications.
The qualification has been pulled, but I think it was a 3-day practical you're supposed to do. So when we wrote our program around it, we have 12 days of practical because that's what we need. Do you know what I mean? Can't just deliver 3 days, can you? It's not.
No.
you're going to cover in that. How many days do you teach on your accredited instructor program?
14.
14 days, yeah.
14 days. And I mean, you know, people are jumping on the pet gun dog bandwagon, as you know, which drives me slowly insane. And they've put out, and I didn't know whether to name the organisation or not, but they've put out, you know, they used to do 2-day courses to become a dog trainer. They've now put out a 3.5-hour webinar. 3.5-hour webinar. Apparently, when you do that, you can go off and train pet gun dogs.
Yeah, it's madness, isn't it?
It's ridiculous. It's like 3.5 hours. We do more anatomy and physiology. We do more than 3.5 hours anatomy and physiology in a course.
I know.
It doesn't equip you to train high energy dogs.
There's a lot
And
of
it's not practical. It's a webinar. It's a 3-hour video.
no, it's mad. I mean, to be honest, you need a lot more. Well, you need a lot more than a webinar. But you also, I mean, with our students, like I said, they have 13 days, actually, not 12, because we have a day at the rescue centre and stuff. But we still encourage them. They still need other stuff. They still need other experience from other people, experience with other dogs and everything else. So we encourage them to do other courses and do stuff with their own dogs. We've got one girl, she has Newfoundlands, and you think, well, that's a bit of a strange breed to have, that you can't do much training with them or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But she does a lot with them. She does water retrieve work and all sorts of stuff. So, you know, aside from her sort of professional study, she's doing all of those things as well, which is what we encourage people to, because you need to, don't you?
You have to learn about different things, and with the courses that I teach, you know, the accredited courses and the qualifications, you expect them to get out and do stuff with the dog, and we do they have as part of the homework, they have to train certain exercises. And I want to see evidence of you training it in different scenes, you know, and I think and also teaching other people, you have to know how to train others. It's one thing to be able to train your own dog, and it's another to put it into words for other people to understand what it is you're trying to do. But I mean, we both teach qualifications. We both teach like practical courses. We both teach on the national framework. We're both regulated by we're both Ofqual regulated course providers.
Yeah.
Which means we have lots of hoops that we'll have to jump through all the time. You know, both of them have to do IQAs. We've got AQ, so internal quality assurance, external quality assurance. Otherwise, we'll lose our qualification status, our registered training centre status. And I forgot what I was going to say.
There are lots of people that don't have that. I mean, there's a difference, isn't there, between qualifications and courses? So the qualifications, have to sit on the national framework, regulated by Ofqual, or you can just go and do a course. But I mean, sometimes the courses are of equal or more value than the qualification, depending on who's delivering it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're better off doing.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, were you? Go on.
Well, you've got people who are offering qualifications and who, like this level 6 that you mentioned, and I think the level 5 as well, you have to be able to train a dog to walk on a harness. Well, I complained. I said, come on, you're expecting level 6 people with all of the damage the harnesses do. You're expecting them only to train dogs on a harness?
Ridiculous. It
is ridiculous. So depending... And also, you know, I did, you know, I started an animal behaviour degree in Spalshall years ago, and I left it because the woman who was running the course, she was just reading out parrot fashion, the PowerPoint. She had no substance behind her. She'd never trained a dog. Her own dog couldn't be let off lead.
Yeah.
You know, so you've got somebody who's trying to teach people how to be a behaviourist to then go on and join the APBC or the AB, whatever it is now.
Yeah. Well, you talking about Crufts. I was last year at Crufts. We had a girl came up and spoke to me about she'd just done an animal behaviour degree, So she's an animal behaviourist with a degree,
Mhm.
had no practical experience, had not the first clue. Obviously, she didn't want to be an animal behaviourist, she wanted to be a dog behaviourist, but she's got this
Yeah.
animal behaviour degree. And she came to us and she said, have you got, how can I get practical experience? I'm like, go and talk to your tutors. Go and tell them you've got a degree. Now, how do you go into a house with a dog and deal with with that dog and that client?
Uh-huh.
You're not coming off the back of, you know what I mean? You come and do our courses, obviously, but we're not going to give you practical experience that your degree, that your academic qualification hasn't. But that's how it often works, isn't it? I mean, you've got this academic qualification, but actually you can't do the job.
Yeah, because an academic qualification is a bit of paper to say you know how to study.
Yeah.
That rather that sounded very very dismissive. It's not. So if you have like a theoretical academic qualification, what that's telling you is that you're committed to studying, and you've been committed for a long period of time. You've put the work in, you've found the theory, and you understand the theory.
Yeah, well, we're always banging on about our master's degree, aren't we? We've got a master's degree, but we have got a master's degree, and I'm pleased that we did it. But there are lots of other things that I've done that make me more proud, like qualifying CDX with my first dog. That, the skill and the commitment and the time involved in that, to me, that's worth more. It's not worth more on paper, and it's not worth more to clients or students or whatever. But to me, that personal achievement is worth more than the masters, because I've demonstrated that I was able to achieve a certain level with a dog.
Yeah, your master's degree was slightly different than mine, wasn't it?
Yours, well, mine was very different to yours. Yours was better thought out, very clever. But
thank you.
if I did it again, I'd do it differently.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very proud of my master's degree, but that's because I did a practical experiment. My master's degree wasn't theoretically based. It wasn't done on research. It wasn't done on literature reviews. It was done on the dog training field.
Yeah.
And
we also had to have, I mean, in order to do that, we had to have that recognition of prior learning anyway, that, stuff. So it was kind of practically based. But no, I'm really pleased. I'm really proud that I did it. But other stuff I've done.
Yeah.
Is,
I definitely get it. And it's the same, like when I compete, I get more, and it's why I keep saying to myself, I'm going to compete in gun dogs. I'm going to go and do some, gun dog working tests and stuff. And I just think, actually, I'd rather go out with my mates and have my mates say, God, your dog's really come on, you've worked with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
That was a really good retrieve. He's come on the treat.
Yeah.
Than have a snapshot from a judge for 2 minutes who doesn't know me and who's going to give me really bad advice at the end of it.
Yeah.
And that's every time I think of competing, I think actually I'd much rather go out with a mate and have a mate tell me that is worth more to me, having a friend say to me that the problem I was having with my dog or an issue I was having with training, for them to say he's come on a treat.
Yeah.
That to me is gold.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, we're all different, aren't we? What rewards us all? Do you know what I mean? We get different rewards from different things. But I'm always really impressed when people have done, like achieve things, whatever it is, whether they've got, test day in obedience, or whether they've done their gold good citizen, or whether they've got their IGP3 or what, you know what I mean? Anything like that. I think that shows the commitment that you can achieve something with the dog.
It's a commitment, isn't it? It's the, as you say, it's going out in the rain.
Yeah.
At 8 o'clock on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. And having that as kind of the passion to do it, isn't it, really? And to work with your dog and to learn together and achieve things.
But then there's the point where we then want to share our knowledge and train other people how to train their dogs.
Yeah. Which is a different thing.
Which is a completely different thing. It's one thing training your own dog, and it's something else teaching another person to train their dog.
It's very difficult. Because well, obviously not all dogs are the same, are they? But certainly all people are not the same. And trying to convey what you want them to do can at times be very difficult depending on the person that's holding the lead, can't it?
Yeah, and the person who's teaching them as well, because sometimes you can explain something to one person, but if you explain it the same way to somebody else, they don't pick it up right. And then you can get frustrated. And then all of a sudden you're in this cycle of like, why aren't you doing it? And they go, no, I don't understand. And
Yeah.
so there's a real skill on
Well, it's
it's a real
difficult because,
communication skill, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, sometimes you explain things to someone and you think you've explained it very well, and then off they go and do something completely different. And you're like, that's not what I said. And you have to do it again. You have to be, I think, a certain kind of person to be, to be like, oh no, okay. And then you reword it and then you go through this and then you show them and then you blah,
Yeah.
blah.
Yeah. And do you think there's a lot of courses and course providers out there. You're of the same mind as me that if you're going to train a dog, you need to have practical experience, especially if you're going to be training other people how to train dogs. There's no point in, I mean, there probably is a point in relation to personal knowledge, but there's courses on Udemy at the minute for £59. And if you watch 4 hours of videos, you get a certificate to say you're a dog trainer.
That's ridiculous. You can't do, I mean, we, as you know, we run distance learning courses. But we always say to them, can you be a dog trainer or a behaviourist doing just distance learning? Absolutely not. Of course you can't.
No way.
Of course you can't. I mean, theory is theory, isn't it? And you might know how to teach a dog to sit or to lay down or to do a send away, but the reality of going and doing it is very different. And equally, all of the training that you do with any dog, lots of it is about problem solving. So actually, when you go out to teach a send away, I know how to teach a send away, but now the dog keeps laying down and it won't. Do you know what I mean? You have to kind of work through that process, and you learn that kind of. I think every kind of training process you go through, there are issues, aren't there? And different dogs bring different issues, and you have to. Being a trainer is working through all of those problems.
But then also you've then got, they do it beautifully at home.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like me or you standing in front of them with a clipboard and right, show me how to train this.
Yeah.
And immediately the pressure on them and the pressure on the dog, and then they have to then learn how to problem solve under pressure, which isn't a bad thing, I don't think. If you're in somebody's home and it all goes a little bit belly up, a little bit pear-shaped, the pressure's on you.
It's quite a pressurized job generally, isn't it? I mean, standing in a training class with 6, 10 people, whatever, that's pressure. Going into people's homes where all eyes are on you. Come on, Les, you tell me what to do now. I've told you the problems I've got with my dog. Over to you. You sort it out. Yeah. The pressures, it's a lot. So I suppose you do have to start, But equally, I mean, like you said, we do like instructor courses, so people come and they train other people. And that is a massive amount of pressure for them because they've not taught a class before.
No.
Their peers as well, which is hideous. They've got people with clipboards stood watching them. But that's probably not too different to, real life because it is hard work.
It really is. And the thing is, when you teach, when we're doing the instructor training, we have an instructor watching an instructor in the class. And then you have us assessing them at the same time. And that to me is quite realistic because you will have people watching class. So you'll have like a partner watching.
Yeah.
And so you have to get used to teaching, not only the people in front of you, but people who are watching and potentially saying, not necessarily talking about your class. They might be talking about the shopping or about the weather to somebody else who's watching. But you've got this going on. It's like, well, are they talking about my teaching? Are they talking about the dogs in the class? And then you've got to watch all of the dogs in front of you and all of the handlers in front of you. And I think you can't get that from the video. I do not think you can watch a video and then know how to do that.
No, you can't
to do it.
I mean, when I used to I ran training classes for about 12 years some time ago. I haven't done that for a few years now. and I started them up when I was very young. Actually, I was probably 20 or something. But in order to do that, I'd been with like my own dogs to lots of training clubs because I was a freak and I wanted to do it and I loved, doing all that. So I had some kind of experience already because I've been involved in so many training classes.
Mm.
And then when I started kind of to instruct, obviously I copied what I'd learned from them and then learned and evolved and whatever over time. But without that experience, you wouldn't, had I not been to training classes, I couldn't have watched a film and then had 10 people in a village hall. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. And I mean, I got through in at the deep end with teaching. I'd trained my own dogs, but I was also a trainer. I also taught kinesiology.
Yeah.
And so I was running training courses and I was used to, going through assessments with people and everything. And I turned up at a club one night and the trainer was sick. And they said, well, you're a teacher. You're used to running training classes and teaching people how to do things like practically. And I think the difference is because I was teaching kinesiology, I was teaching people how to use their body and move around rather than like teaching French or something, which is more academic. Because I was doing practical training, they said, can you do the class? And that was it. I was done. I was teaching.
And off you go.
And off
But I
you
think,
go.
I often think with our students and stuff, there's an element, a bit like learning to drive. You do sufficient to pass your test,
And then
but
you
you've
learn.
not got 20 years experience as a driver, have you?
No.
Do you know what I mean? You can't teach. We teach, from our experience, and we try and help people not make similar mistakes to what we've made. And we're always really honest. We show, I've got clips of us temperament testing or me temperament testing, Staffy type dog on a stupid flexi lead.
Oh man.
But I needn't, I did that. I did it at that moment. I decided that that's, what we would do, but we still play it. And I say, this is not best practice. So, do you know what I mean? But we give all of our experience to help other people not make similar mistakes. But equally, once they've completed their training, there's only so much you can teach them. We look at dog body language, but they haven't got 20 years experience of reading dog body language.
No, I know.
They've got what we've taught. So there is an element. Sometimes you feel a little bit like, oh, should we be sending these people out? But they're damn sight more prepared than the majority of people are when they've done a course.
Do that again?
I said they're a damn sight more prepared to work in the industry than the majority of people that have done a course.
Definitely.
Providers, for sure.
Definitely. And when you're teaching, when you're packing so much into a course, like you really are packing a lot of stuff into a course, there's only so much time you can spend on each element.
Yeah.
And so you might play like a 10-minute video of body language. And that's it. You've got, say, a 5-minute video and then another 10 minutes to analyze it. Whereas really, you could spend an hour analysing it.
Yeah, you totally could.
You can't because you have to prioritise. Well, I need to teach you this and I need to teach you that and I need to teach you that. Rather than just spending like a whole morning watching a video of 2 dogs playing and really taking apart the body language. You have to get to the point where you go, right, I've introduced you to this and hopefully you now are going to continue with the study of looking at like YouTube videos of dogs. And
I think it's like with anything, isn't it? Your eyes become trained, I think, over time. Yeah. So, what you don't see when you've been a dog trainer for a year, and when you've been a dog trainer for 30 years, intrinsically you see more. Do you know what I mean? Because you just see more because that's what you do. You look at it, you've learned, you've observed, and you just see. Sometimes you can't even explain what you see and why you knew that was going to happen, but it's just experience, isn't it? And you can't teach experience.
You can't. I mean, as my mum used to say, you can't put an old head on young shoulders.
No, you can't. No.
I think that's a really good description about experience as well.
Yeah, it's a shame you can't do that. But equally, you've got the other, the other end of the spectrum, whereas people have been doing things for a long time and been doing it wrong and not learned anything. Do you know what I mean?
There is that because there's somebody who's been training for like 20 years and they might teach an hour a month.
Yeah, exactly.
You think, well, and an old way of teaching, and they haven't moved with the times. The things have changed like so much, haven't they?
Yeah, totally.
So you have that, and then the other thing that is happening a lot on social media at the minute is the use of the whole academic thing. Everything's got to be science-based, otherwise it's not dog training, which drives me mad.
It's madness, isn't it? And I think when they say science-based, I mean, what does that mean? And a lot of the science studies that you read are not, well, they're just rubbish as well, aren't they? Just ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? And I think obviously dog training has always been kind of an art.
It's not a science.
No. And it's, there are lots of people that have like a real kind of intrinsic understanding of dogs. Do you know what I mean? Like people that are naturally very gifted and very skilled, and they don't know how much they know. Do you know what I mean? And they're very gifted, and those people are very easy to kind of bring along and, set off to fly, so to speak. But there are some people that are not gifted and, we'll never have all of the components required to do the job, like the interpersonal skills with people, the dog handling skills, the report writing ability, liaising with other organisations. Do you know what I mean? All of that stuff. It's quite a lot that you need quite a lot of independent skills that need to come together.
Yeah.
Because you can be the best dog trainer in the world, but if you can't communicate with people, then you're going to fail, aren't you?
Yeah. Definitely. Well, you're going to fail as an instructor, not necessarily as a dog trainer. So you might, those kind of people would be better suited to taking dogs in and training them, and like residential training rather than people facing.
Yeah, totally. But no, I think, to answer your question, can you go and do a weekend course, be a dog trainer and pay 25 quid for the pleasure? No. And I think people very quickly, I'm amazed actually, the people that I speak to, I have quite a lot of inquiries about courses, as you can imagine. So I speak to a lot of people that have done other courses, and I'm amazed, how they don't get badly injured when they go into people's homes with the information that they're given. I'm sure a lot of people must just go into their first behaviour consult, leave, and then go and get a job in Waitrose. Do you know what I mean? Just why would,
Yeah.
You can't do it, can you, without a lot of practical.
And it's the same. I've got one of the girls who qualified in the summer there, last summer. And she was, when they did the reflective essay at the end, she kind of listed all the trainers that she'd been with to do courses with, like really big names, she'd done like residential courses and everything. And she hadn't learned like a tenth of what she learned with me with a 18-month course. And you just think there's a lot of stuff out there. A lot of it's style over substance, and there's not. People are very good at marketing. People are very good at putting themselves out there, putting a nice shiny sparkly veneer over it. But when you get down to it and you look at what they're offering, there's not a lot of substance there. There's not a lot of depth. There might be a bit of skimming, and I think in lots of ways that's worse if you're skimming the surface, because a little bit of knowledge is a very dangerous thing, and it puts you in very much into Dunning-Kruger, which is, oh my God, I've been taught this, and this. Aren't I amazing? Aren't I wonderful? I'm the best. And put themselves out as the best, and put themselves out as being really experienced. And it's only when you've got that experience and you've got that depth of knowledge that you come up and you go, God, there's a lot to this, isn't there? And most people who are experts in the field wouldn't necessarily call themselves experts.
No,
because there's so much to learn.
There is, and I always say to our students, like, you go through this learning process, you start with knowing nothing, then you know everything.
Yep.
And then 20 years later, you know nothing. Because because that's it, isn't it? That's the process you go through, and you kind of,
it is definitely,
you learn it all, and then you realise actually there's way more to this, and you continue to learn and develop the whole time anyway, don't you? So you don't get to a point where you know everything and that's the end of it, because you don't. Even now, I'll go and see clients with dogs, and because of experience, you can see if there's some kind of maybe physiological issue rather than
No.
psychological. Do you know what I mean? And it's the experience. You're like, this doesn't add up. This is not. But you wouldn't know that with a week.
Yeah.
No.
You're still wet behind the ears, as they say.
Yeah, that's
You
it. And
wouldn't.
unfortunately, it's dangerous. For everybody. It's unkind to a lot of people when you're going out charging money to give really naff advice. And it's dangerous to everybody involved, really, at times.
It's very dangerous to everybody involved.
It's
And
really,
I think social media is making it a lot worse.
probably is. I think there's, again, back to the sort of strange movement of everything being positive and kind and everything being stuffed with chicken all the time. A lot of that, it doesn't work in reality. And when you're going in to see people that are really desperate, because the impact that behavioural issues with your dog can have on your life and your relationships and your home and your family can be really far-reaching, can't it? And to go and give people rubbish advice when they're in such a predicament, that's not cool, is it?
No, it's not. No, I think there has to be a balance between theory and practical. And I think the emphasis, I think for me, the thing that I really stress is that the theory is underpinning the practical, not the practical underpinning the theory. And I think that's where a lot of people are going wrong with it. They're very much interested, or I know, look at me, aren't I really important? I know the four quadrants of operant conditioning. Well, actually, put it in action, let me see it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it, show me. And I think that's where it's going.
Have you ever explained to a client the four quadrants?
No.
No.
What I find really funny is that I think I can't remember if it's the advanced pet gun dog or the pet gun dog. There's a really scathing review on Amazon. It's the advanced. And it's like, well, where's the science? Where's the science? And this is putting, this is like, the cot deaths in the 70s. And it's like, really? Where's the science? Where's the science? Have a look at these books. These books have got the science in it. These books have got the science in it. And I thought, hang on a minute, this is not about teaching academics. This is about teaching somebody at home with a high energy gun dog. And if you actually knew the science, you would see that I've mentioned Skinner without actually mentioning him. Do you know what I mean? It's like I went through the process of how to do it without actually putting the academic terminology on it.
Well, people don't want that in a
ridiculous.
Most people don't want it in a book, and they certainly don't want it in a training class or a behaviour consult, do they?
No.
It's the reality of doing it. And actually, a lot of what we do, a lot of what we've learned is based on living with our own dogs. Do you know what I mean? When you live with multiple dogs or whatever, different types and breeds of dogs, you learn things that work and things that don't work and what is best to do when visitors come in or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
Take all of that stuff with you. Do you know what I mean? You didn't read that in the book.
No. And I do. I mean, as you know, you've done the forward for a couple of my books, and they're very much a case of this is how you live with a dog.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of is lacking, I think, is the experience and the honesty of the people that are delivering training programs, because there's not a lot of honesty goes around. A lot of smoke and mirrors, and
there's a lot of smoke. There is a lot of smoke and mirrors. There is definitely. And but I do think qualifications are important. I do think there's a movement at the minute between if you've got a qualification, you're a rubbish trainer, but we know that's not true. And then you've got the other camp that's saying you need to have a qualification. But actually, I think what I've just said, having that practical experience with a qualification underpin it, is I think that's the way to be, really. Personally,
I think so. I mean, my top tip that I say to everybody who's looking for a training course or to be a dog trainer or a behaviourist or whatever, if you're looking for an education provider, then the first thing you do is look at who's teaching you, who are your tutors,
Yeah.
and who are they to teach you. And if you can't find out who your tutor is and they've never worked with dogs, then go somewhere else.
That drives me mad. There's a lot of education providers and you ask who the tutors are and they go, we're not telling you.
Yeah, they won't tell you, well, don't do the course then, because that's
Don't do the
ridiculous.
Yeah, no, you've got to be above board. This is the tutor, this is the experience, this is the dogs, this is what we've done with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
No, I think so. So there we are, another little ranty one.
Another little ranty one, but really important as well, because there's so much popping up. People are spending a lot of money, a lot of hard-earned cash on courses so that they can get out of the job that they don't particularly like
Yeah,
and become a dog trainer. And you have to make sure that they have good quality education.
yeah, totally.
So definitely a worthwhile rant.
Worthwhile rant, yes. No, and I think if that helps someone to look at for courses or whatever, then that's a good thing, isn't it?
Definitely. And on that note, a worthwhile rant. You've gone quiet on me.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to, on that note, yeah. What we're ranting about next.
That's what I was going to say. What are we ranting about next?
Oh, God, I can't remember.
I think we were going to look at some, as we've just been talking about behaviour and stuff, we were going to look at some common behaviour issues.
Cool.
Or common training issues.
Cool. That sounds like a plan.
So it's one of those two. It'll either be common training issues that we encounter with the dogs, or
common behaviour problems.
Probably. Or it could be something completely different, depending on what comes up between now and then.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll start off talking about what food we've eaten recently or haven't eaten.
What film we've watched.
Yeah, I'm sure a little bit of
Have
gossip.
you seen Barbie yet?
No, I'll watch it before our next meeting.
Okay, Barbie's really good. Have to wear pink when you watch it though.
Yeah, well, I'll put pink on when I sit on my own watching that.
Okay, that's the rule. You have to wear pink for Barbie.
Yeah, will.
Enjoy it.
Yes, and I shall look forward to catching up with you next time.
Yeah. Cool. You take it steady.
Yeah, see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. It's not just gun dogs and not just guard dogs, but all things canine, as we hope you have discovered. Please like, share and subscribe and help us spread a bit of common sense back into dog ownership. And a review wouldn't go amiss either. Catch up with Les and Ross again in about 14 days for more canine conversations. Until next time, stay well and enjoy your dogs. Any dog-related questions or topics, just drop an email to talk@cfba.uk or message us via facebook.com/Gundogs and Guard Dogs podcast.